I end up meeting this girl on TikTok, right? After watching some of my videos, she hit me up talking about she liked my stories. I already know, man, when a girl hit me up on TikTok talking about she liked my stories, most of the time that's her shooting her shot. So we get to chopping it up for a few days, right? That's when I find out that her family and friends is from F13. I done talked to a lot of Mexican girls growing up, right? I already know that most of them got family from Mexican gang. Most of the time they be cool. And you got the ones that don't like they peoples dating a nigga. I done dealt with both sides of the shit. Now I already know that Mexicans take gang banging probably way more serious than blacks. But the other day, I got knocked off by the gang. It reminded me of just how serious they take that shit. Pretty much me and old girl, we start talking on TikTok. Eventually exchange numbers. Now we talking every day. Like on some just getting to know each other type shit. Boom, after a little bit of time go by, I finally go up over there and see her. And remind you, she lived right in the middle of Florence hood. Like soon as I hit her street, all you see is big ass Florence hit ups and all of that type of shit, right? Anyways, I go over there to kick it with her. As we was chilling, when she told me that she listened to a known rapper that was from my hood. So based on that statement, I already thought that she knew where I was from, right? And I could have swore that I told her already. Plus, I'm a gang member, not a gang banger. I don't trip off that shit, you know what I'm saying? As long as a nigga not tripping on me, I ain't got no problems with the nigga. Same time, I'm always gonna be from where I'm from. You know, we had a good time and shit, you feel me? We was vibing with each other and everything was smooth. Next day after the first time we kicked it, you know what I'm saying, she like really texting me now, like on me. Since we kicked it and she seen the way I really think, now she like fucking with me even more. I'ma keep it real, man. I was fucking with her too, you feel me? Because not only was she pretty, she was a deep thinker, you know what I'm saying? Like she thought deep like me, and I was really feeling that shit. A nigga could really have a real conversation with her, you know what I'm saying? Not on no surface level bullshit. Now I'm pulling up on her back to back, and like 2 nights ago, I had went up over there to see her. So while we chilling, I asked her, has she ever been to a football game before? Had 4 Rams versus Charger tickets that I had bought a few weeks ago. She like, nah, I ain't never been to a game before. I'm like, shit, you wanna go? That's when she like, hell yeah, I wanna go. So I tell her pretty much what time and shit, right? Now at the time, I only had 1 extra ticket, and which was for her, because the other 2 tickets was for my homies that was coming with me. You know, the next day, right, my homie ended up hitting me telling me he can't make it to the game. So since I had the extra ticket, I tell her if she want to bring one of her friends. He like, yeah, I got a friend that'll come. I'm like, bet, you know what I'm saying? It's all good. Bam, about 3 hours after I let her know that it's cool for her friend to come, when I get a text message from her out of nowhere. Read the text message, it say, you say you was from again? As I read the text message, I'm like, oh, ain't that about a bitch. I already knew what time it was. I'm like, oh yeah, her homegirl tripping on some gang shit. Thinking in my head like, damn, don't you already know this shit? Because we was already talking about the rapper that was from my neighborhood. That's when I tell her again, like, remember we was talking about that, and you know, I told you where I was from and all of that type of shit? Because there's a Mexican version of my hood in LA, and they beef with the Mexican version. She write me back like, damn, yeah, I didn't even think about that. Like, do y'all press FK? Question caught me off guard because they should already know that shit. They ain't never had no problems with my neighborhood. Like, it's the Mexican version that they beef with, but we don't beef with they enemies and they don't beef with our enemies. Like, hell no, we don't press FK. Like, we ain't never had no problem with no Florences. So she like, all right, for sure, I was just checking. Ended up writing her back something, and she was taking a long ass time to respond. That's when I wrote her back like, everything good? Like, yeah, I was just asking because the homegirl that I was bringing was gonna be from Florence. That's when I hit her back like, oh yeah, she cool, don't even trip, you feel me? Like, ain't nobody got no problem with no Florences. Plus, I'm thinking like, if I did have a problem with Florence, think I'd be that comfortable just pulling up on that block like that, picking you up? Plus, you already been alone with me and inside one of my homies' houses. If I wanted to do something to you because I had a problem with Florence, I could have been did it. Anyways, I text her asking her what time she gonna be off work so I could pick her up to go to the game. I ain't get no response from her. After about 4 hours, I hit her again. Still no response. That's when I realized, I'm like, oh yeah, she ain't fucking with me no more. The gang then got to her head. Or she got abducted by aliens and she trying to get back in touch with me right now as we speak. But I'm leaning towards the first one. It's just crazy to me how serious they take that gang shit, right? Because I could see if I was from the hood that actually beef with they hood, then I could understand, you know what I'm saying, that shit. But let your homegirls get in your head and stop fucking with a nigga because of some gang shit is crazy to me. Especially if you not even from that hood. But hey, I can't be mad at it. Remember, my whole life revolved around gang banging also, so I understand the thought process, I guess.